live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Lounge Time. I'm your host, Rich Saile, and today we have a lot of ground to cover with Week 11, NFL nearly concluding, and college football, Oklahoma upset Alabama. So this was a great weekend for yours truly. I mean, Bama bandwagons lose. I finally win a fantasy match for the first time in 7 weeks. New England won on Thursday against the Jets. And the Chiefs bandwagons lose yet again. And their bandwagon fans are crying and crashing out on X. Oh boy, do we have something for you Chiefs bandwagons today. But let's get to the opening topic that everybody's waiting to see. And that's the Chiefs bandwagons and the Denver Broncos. What we're going to do is we're going to give the Broncos credit first. I picked the Chiefs last week, I know, but there is a path still to the Patriots getting the number 1 seed. That's the number 1 goal for us right now. And I had concerns about Bo Nix, and I'm not going to lie. I feel like they eased off just a little bit. They were able to make a couple drives that got themselves going. It was 6-6 at half, and then second half, Sean Payton was like, all right, guys, we got to make some big plays once in a while, but we got to run the football, keep Mahomes on the sideline. That's exactly what they did. And even with J.K. Dobbins basically nearly out for the season, R.J. Harvey, that running game was able to get going. And now, again, Denver, Bo Nix in the fourth quarter. 9 points he scored. And give them credit. They did a good job. Bo Nix didn't turn the ball over. He threw for 295 yards. He managed the game. Jaleel McLaughlin also was the running game too, right? Troy Franklin made a huge catch on that last drive that pretty much got them in field goal range, and they learned from last time. Get it on the middle hash and avoid the block like what happened last year. So give credit to Denver Broncos in general. Offense took care of the ball. Defensively, they got after Mahomes. Jaquan McMillan, 2 sacks, a fumble, an interception. He had the game of his life. And I was concerned with how that defense would hold up even without Pat Surtain, the second Defensive Player of the Year from last year. I was very concerned going into this game. Their defense held their own. And they did a really good job of just getting after Mahomes when they needed to with either 4 guys most of the game. And then they brought the blitz when Mahomes didn't expect it. And they got him 3 and out, and that's what gave Bo Nix the ball. But I have my concerns about the Denver offense. I still do to a degree. But Bo Nix in the fourth quarter, however he does it, he just makes plays. And, you know, it was good that Denver got a big win, and give credit to Sean Payton and company. 10 days to get ready for Kansas City, mini bye week, and they really took advantage of this. Defense got the takeaways. they didn't turn the ball over on offense. Recipe for how to win in December and January. And Denver looked every bit the team that I was a little bit concerned about playing as far as their defense is concerned and being able to just play very good ball control offense. And Sean Payton's got a team that, if they get the 1 seed in Mile High, it's a dangerous place to play because with that defense and Bo Nix being a game manager, they're going to be a tough out. Now, to the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Now, last time I did try to record an episode of this and it fucked up my camera. So this is basically the second go around at this. We're going to do a drum roll, not on the table because I'm not messing up my camera again. Drum roll, please, to the moment you've all been waiting for. We have some gifts from the Chiefs for the Chiefs bandwagons because I have waited a long time to do this. A very, very long time for this. Boy, is it great to see you guys be down. So, we're going to go at every Chiefs bandwagon that annoyed the fucking shit out of me for 3 years, that hop on my X timeline. And yes, we're going after all the Twitter trolls. This is an episode that you Chief bandwagons, I told you my day was going to happen. And it's going to happen right now. Would you look at what you are in November? 5-5. And you lost 2 straight. Oh, we have a lot to unpack. But first, I come bearing gifts for the Chiefs bandwagons because it is officially over, and we're going to get into these bandwagons. It's time to throw the AFC West division hopes and your 2025 Arrowhead Invitationals in the garbage. The Chiefs will not be getting a first-round bye this year. They will not be getting the number 1 seed. They will not be winning the AFC West, which means you're going to have to go on the road. So yours truly, throw it all the way. It's going in here along with your Super Bowl hopes. So say goodbye. We have plenty more trash to take out, and I will take it out after this show is over. To the Chief bandwagons crashing out at me on X, and I know yous by name because I tweeted at some of yous. Do we need some boxes of tissues to cry and cope with this loss? I mean, 2 straight. Saying goodbye to the Arrowhead Invitational. Saying goodbye to the AFC West that you've won 9 straight years. It was a good run. It's over. It's over. It is over. Say goodbye. Now, I would love to smoke this right now. I would love to. However, there's so much I want to crash out on the bandwagons for right now. I want to wait to use this till you're totally out. Because if you're totally out, this is when we can smoke this, man, boy. And I will be smoking that Mahomes pack at some point. So, as bad as I want to, I'm going to hold off for now. Because I want you totally out before I do it. Now, you guys, the real OG Lounge Time family, since day one, there have been moments where I've counted this team out, and it has not gone well for me. 2021 following the loss to the Titans, but then we had our epic Joe Burrow celebration. And we had the 2022 season where they lost to the Bengals in Cincinnati. The year they won the Super Bowl. 2023, I thought when they lost to the Bills and Green Bay back-to-back weeks, it was over. And then they won in Buffalo, and they won in Baltimore. They won the Super Bowl yet again. And then last year, I thought when they lost to Buffalo, okay, they were going to finally come back down to earth. And then I had to deal with so much toxicity. And then it finally cleared up a little bit with the Eagles pouncing on them in the Super Bowl. So now we have 5-5 we're staring at for this Chiefs team in November. Which, by the way, feels so great to see all these Chiefs bandwagons literally losing their fucking minds right now. And guys, I've had to deal with these fucking bandwagons since they won their first championship back in 2020 of the Mahomes-Andy Reid era. 2019 season really in the year 2020, but pre-COVID, mind you. And I heard these bandwagons talk a bunch of shit, even the likes of Tyreek Hill and Chris Jones saying, we're going to win 5 rings, we're going to win 7 rings. Before Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl in Tampa in his very first season there. And who did he beat along the way? Oh, yours truly. He beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and halted their dynasty. Then he retires, and unfortunately, the dark days happen where the Chiefs bandwagons become at an all-time, unbearable, nauseating level for nearly 3 years. And this was a rough 3 years. Then I had to listen to delusional lunacy from bandwagons that were even proclaiming them to have Mahomes as the GOAT over Tom Brady, which, for those of you that have paid attention very closely to this show over the last, we're going on 5 years already, which is hard to believe. Those of you that joined even later than that, going on 3 to 4 years, I told you guys after the Super Bowl, I would no longer entertain any more GOAT conversations between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. I will no longer even go there. But I'm going to open up the show with a trivia question. And you can play the Jeopardy music all you want. How many times did Tom Brady lose the AFC East in his prime with the Patriots? Please take your guesses. Oh, that's right, 0. He didn't lose the AFC West when he was playing in his prime. He did not. Do not give me the year he got hurt in 08. I don't count that year. Don't count 02. That dude was literally first year starting. That was not his prime. Patrick Mahomes is going to lose the AFC West in his prime. And the man just turned 30 last month. So, you bandwagons, you're now going to feel like now you're going to be sweating it out for 7 more weeks. Because you're on the outside of looking in and you're not even in a playoff picture. But we're only getting started. So, Chiefs bandwagons, I am going to call you guys all out by name that bothered my fucking X timeline. And now it's my turn to be unbearable. So now, you guys want to fucking bother me all spring, all summer, and annoy the fucking shit out of me? Now it's my turn to go for all of you fucks. Because I waited for you guys to finally fucking fall down to earth. And I'm going after you bandwagons now. This is a roast party today. And for those of you that love roasts, you come to the right place. Although one thing I want to say. See, for those of you that find me funny, I don't consider myself crazy funny. But I did take a stand-up comedy class in college last semester. And I passed the class because my professor was really good. Okay? But I have some people that think that I'm pretty damn funny. And it's a different humor from some others. That's okay. It makes the world different. But you know what? I don't try to be a stand-up comedian. I just try to be myself and be funny. And I didn't go to college to be a stand-up comedian. I go to be a sports media person, sports broadcaster. Okay? But I have some elements that I make people laugh with. So, we're going to start this roast off with all the bandwagons I have tweeted at that have not responded. Now, some of you have, which we're going to get to. We're going to start with the nobody lowlifes, okay? And this one, I have to know where this person was at because I feel like he went into hibernation following the Super Bowl. Red Tribe Cinema, a.k.a. at Clay Wendler. What happened? You're not even a no-show anymore. His account probably got deleted if I had to guess. Because I don't see it anymore. I guess Red Tribe Cinema closed because the movie was so bad that the box office ratings were so bad that X was like, man, you're so bad at Chiefs takes, we have to fucking shut you down. And it sucks because I wanted to see his reaction following the Eagles kicking the Chiefs' ass in the Super Bowl. I guess that his takes and his so-called cinema clips were so bad, X was like, nah, man, we can't have you. Your ratings are horrible. Boy, would I hate to be you, but I wanted to purchase a movie ticket to see how bad the movie was because it was looking so good, and then the ending to me was great because your Chiefs got kicked in the ass by the Eagles, and then you took it down, or your account got deactivated. Oh man, I guess Red Tribe Cinema finally closed its doors. Sucks because I would have loved to see a movie ticket for this fucking cinema of the Chiefs season. 5-5. Yeah, I'm sure the cinema clips would have been so awesome for them. But Clay Wendler went into hibernation. That sucks because there goes the one of the Chiefs bandwagons that went into hibernation. Guess he called it in early. Guess he packed it up knowing that the Chiefs would never be the same and that their dynasty died that night in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So that's an example of a bandwagon hiding under a rock. Just wish I could have heard him say at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl season, I got a rock. Yeah, you sure did. You got a bunch of rocks. Just you can't duplicate the Charlie Brown costume. Let's go to another fucking Joe Schmo. And this guy him and I had a Twitter war back in like July, okay? Because these bandwagons were gaslighting their team. And I think this is a bot account. At Jeff Day 20746. Guys, let me just read his Twitter bio for you guys. You guys ready for this? This is his Twitter bio. Okay? I pray daily to my Lord and Savior, Patrick Mahomes. The NFL salary cap isn't real. Yeah, I'm sure your Lord and Savior, he's not bailing you out, bro. I mean, you guys proclaimed him the MVP after beating a Lions secondary mostly filled with backups and third stringers. Yeah, I'm sure he's the MVP. Anybody could look really good against the Lions nowadays. But, I mean, I guess that praying ain't going too well for you, isn't it, Jeff Day? 20746. I guess that ain't going so great, bro. I'm just saying. I guess it ain't going so well because Mahomes sucks. I mean, he knocked himself out of MVP contention against Josh Allen in Denver. So, I guess he ain't your Lord and Savior now anymore. But this is the fucking piece of shit I deal with. Okay? Now, I tweeted at him, opening loss. Dude's a no-show. Hibernation? Already? Before this season started? Yeah, so much for that shit talk, buddy. So much for that shit talk, buddy. I guess Mahomes ain't coming through. as your Lord and Savior. Nope. Let's go to another one. At Brad Henson Pro Productions. Yeah, I haven't seen him tweet shit since the Super Bowl. Wonder where you're at, buddy. What happened? Productions got canceled? Nobody wants to hear about the Chiefs' so-called dynasty still intact? No, buddy, that died in February. And it's gone. I guess your productions got shut down. Nobody wants that Chiefs propaganda anymore. Yeah, it's not going for you well, is it? And I guess there's no productions when your team's 5-5 and you're not in the playoff hunt and you're not winning the AFC West. Boy, does it suck to be you right now. Boy, does it suck to be you. Oh, I'm just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still getting done. Now, to the recent Chiefs bandwagons harassing my fucking X timeline. These are the ones that will actually tweet. But then when they lose, they're upset. Aw, 5-5, you're not used to being. You're not used to dropping 2 straight with your so-called dynasty. I've been there. But you know what? Welcome back down to earth, because you're not as good as you thought you were. Let's keep going with the bandwagons, because I'm not done. I kept my fucking names and receipts for everybody. The fat fuck, you guys wanted to know who he was, right? I said last week, at Lance the Spoken. This is the fat fuck from last week. This is the guy, ladies and gentlemen, that if you don't remember, he's the one from a few weeks ago, from around week 7, 4 weeks ago, when he was mad that the Patriots, Bills, and Colts were listed as the teams to beat in the AFC over his Kansas City Chiefs. So he was like very upset about this. And I'm looking for the tweet. And I don't know why I can't find it. And I know it was here, but I guess it was earlier than a few weeks back. I'm trying to find it. Yes, here we go. October 27th. And he's one of these fucks that tries to change the narrative when it's not going your way. Yeah, nice try. Nice try. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. So he was mad about that. Okay, then last week, he was the one that said, oh, I hope Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce beat Drake May so bad so we can recreate the playoff video of Brady and Gronk doing their little fucking happy post-game shit on Kansas City back in 2018. You know what I said back? You should be worried about making the playoffs before fucking talking about beating a team that is going to make it. And honestly, he didn't say anything. This is the one fat fuck that doesn't say anything back, but he wants to talk a bunch of shit, dude. So, this, it's not happening, and your Chiefs bandwagon should be worried about making the playoffs first before posting delusional lunacy. That's what I said to him last week. And he doesn't say anything. Then, get this, when they lose, he calls his own team frauds. This is the same fat fuck that was crashing out midway through the season. Fatty Lance, good luck sweating these next 7 weeks. Because it's over! It's over! It's done! It's done! Okay? It's done. You guys ain't shit. And if you guys know the Flight Reacts song, I think the song's called Feelings. You know the lyrics where he's like, and I'm trying to make sure I have this right. Fuck your feelings, like, you know, like, y'all ain't shit, y'all ain't shit, y'all ain't shit. That's what the fucking Chiefs bandwagons, that's my whole thing right now that I keep singing to you guys. Now to the head of the snake, Nick Wright. Now, I don't care, I don't watch First Things First. I bet Yoham's watching First Things First right now as I'm recording this. Again, this cocky motherfucker and this cocky piece of shit says that the Broncos have no chance against the Chiefs. No chance, you say, huh? Yet, you lose. You lose, Nick Wright. Lose again. So, this man is finally getting heat from Mark Schlereth, Greg Jennings, and all his First Things First co-hosts, because it's about time that this cocky piece of shit douchebag gets what he deserves. About time that ugly Big Bird fucking knows himself finally gets put back down to earth. And his ego's fucking destroyed. You could put it all in here, Nick, right? Because the so-called no chance. Oh no, the Broncos absolutely had a chance. They won outright. Say goodbye to your AFC East hopes. Throw them in here. Throw your playoff hopes. Throw your Arrowhead Invitational. Throw it away. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. It's gone. And let me get to another bandwagon fan. This is the classic definition of a bandwagon, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to my notifications, okay? And these Chief fans come running to this person's defense, which I expected this, I'm going to be honest. So this is what I tweeted at another Chiefs bandwagon, and I'm going to quote them by name. At Lexi Osborne, this is what I tweeted to these Chiefs bandwagons. Cry me a river at Lexi Osborne. You and your Chiefs bandwagons are going to sweat it out for the next 7 weeks and forget winning the AFC West. Now, I saw the comments. I don't know if I want to give you guys the comments. But one guy apparently is making fun of my hairline. And look, that's the comeback you guys have. That's the comeback you lousy bandwagons can come up with after falling to 5-5. No more excuses, no more excuses, no more excuses, no more excuses. And that's what you come up with. And I, you know what I said to one of them that said, it's okay to be upset, but, you know, and not be a bandwagon, you idiot or whatever. I said, listen, buddy, I'm good. My team's doing good. I'm good. I pulled a Matty ass, actually. So I took a lesson from the Rage Baiter and used it on Chiefs bandwagons. So shout out to Matty ass for giving me material to use on the Chiefs bandwagons unintentionally. So it's time for you bandwagons to pipe down. Now let's get into your team. Because have you guys noticed something these last 9 months? Have we finally broken through the so-called National Mahomes League dark cloud that has surrounded the NFL the last 3 years? Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are in the clear because it's finally over. It's over. Okay? Chiefs are not making the playoffs because guess who they got to now trail? The Jacksonville Jaguars, who beat them head-to-head. The LA Chargers, who also beat them head-to-head. They just lost to Denver. Oh, and they lost to the Eagles. And they lost to the Bills. All 5 are playoff teams right now. Your 5 wins? The Giants, the Ravens, the Commanders, the Raiders, and the Lions, who right now are not even in the playoff picture. Wow. So you can't even beat the good teams anymore. I mean, guys, if you actually know something, if you guys looked at my posts in the beginning of the year, I picked the Jaguars and the Jaguars to make the playoffs, and I picked the Broncos to win the AFC West. I did, and that's looking pretty good right now. Better than Awful Take Al's Super Bowl pick to come out of the AFC, which I'm going to let him try to talk his way out of it Thanksgiving, which, by the way, I'm not buying, by the way. And he's going to try to call me and be like, you know, trying to talk his way, like, still into it. Well, anything can happen. I mean, there's still 7 weeks left of the season. Yeah, get out of here with that shit. Stop it. Stop it. You're Awful Take Al. I'm trademarking that shit. Okay? But I did not have the Chiefs winning the AFC West to begin the year. I did not have them winning the AFC West. I had Denver. Now that's looking true. So you can't beat good teams. Do you also know something too this year? Where's their good luck charm? I don't see where she is. When was the last time she was at a game? Oh, when you beat Washington? I didn't watch. The Lions? Was that the last time she was at a game? Because, notice, they don't even fucking show her anymore at the game. Oh, does she realize that Travis Kelce's going to retire? And that's why she's not showing up to games? She really couldn't handle being booed at the Super Bowl? Is that why she's not showing up? I mean, I need to know why. It's very odd, ladies and gentlemen. It's very mysterious. Has she gone with the wind? Has she gone with the wind? Are we finally free of the NFL promoting this Taylor Swift propaganda of constantly showing her at games? Have they finally got the people's message of enough was enough? The sun's breaking through. We are finally free of it, yes! Because she's not even being shown during NFL action. Thank you! Thank you! Because it was so annoying. And now I think she's gone. I don't even think she's going to be... We might even get a world, ladies and gentlemen, where she doesn't even approach an NFL screen because her team might not even make the playoffs. Isn't this great? I think it's awesome. I mean, I don't even hear anymore. Never a doubt from Nick Wright. Oh no, Nick Wright, there's a doubt. There's a doubt. You ain't getting the number 1 seed. You ain't getting that first round bye. You ain't getting that division title. You ain't going to probably be guaranteed a playoff spot. So, there's a doubt. You know what's never a doubt, though? The New England Patriots are going to finish with a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be never a doubt. The New England Patriots are going to finish with a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs with a sophomore quarterback who's playing like an MVP candidate over what was the best quarterback in the league. So does that mean Drake May is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes is right now? Is that what that means? Oh, it's my turn to be insufferable, and I love it. I love it. You know what else has finally ended, ladies and gentlemen, after last night? No more referees helping the Chiefs bandwagons. No more referees helping Machokes win games. Because you know what the Chiefs' record is in one-score games this year? 0-5. 0-5 in one-score games. When last year we had to really seriously consider if there was a conspiracy theory of the NFL rigging the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, which it started in February where the Chiefs couldn't even fucking make it look like the Super Bowl was rigged because they got their ass beat so bad. Which, by the way, thank you, Vic Fangio and that Eagles defense for fucking putting a fork into the grave of the wannabe Chiefs dynasty that was supposed to be the next Patriots, which, by the way, has ended. It ended that night. And now, Travis Kelce's getting old, and he's in his late 30s. He's literally approaching retirement. Chris Jones is the 62nd best defensive tackle in football, according to Pro Football Focus. 62nd best defensive tackle. I mean, I was told this guy was like an Aaron Donald. I guess he's a shell of himself now. Oh, and your quarterback? He's starting as of last month. He never lost a division until this year. And Tom Brady never lost the AFC East in his prime with the Patriots. Never! Never lost a division in his prime. He backed himself out of the MVP talks, Mahomes, after these two duds of a game against Buffalo and against Denver. And everybody said, Andy Reid's great off a bye. I mean, he's literally great off a bye. He doesn't lose games. Well, he lost this one. So, I gloriously wait, and this episode will be going out to the bandwagons, all that I have noted by name, and I kept receipts. What's our excuse now, Chiefs bandwagons? Oh, I got one more that I didn't even mention. And he's really gotten bad, and this is where I got a big gripe. Tony Romo, or I should start calling him Tony Mahomo. Yeah, you. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that have paid attention for 5 years have noted, like I have, Tony Romo has some fucking personal crush on Patrick Mahomes, and it's visibly noticeable every single year. It's so bad to the point, ladies and gentlemen, where this man is actively rooting for the Chiefs while he's calling a game. He's supposed to be an unbiased, neutral broadcaster. Now, I want to say one more thing on the side note here. I was covering a team for the last 2 years, working for a college radio station. And I just want to say this. I was told that if you work for a particular station, you should technically be biased, according to my old sports director. But the way I was trained was you're supposed to be unbiased and neutral. Don't pick sides. Call the game as you see it. But according to my old sports director, it was a bad fucking thing to do. But when Tony Romo actively is rooting for the Chiefs, and you could hear it last night, particularly in that game, it's a problem to the average person, including myself, but it's not a problem to people at CBS or to his own partner, Jim Nantz, who I'm surprised no one has said a single fucking thing about this to him. Romo, you were playing for the Cowboys. It would be one thing if it was the Cowboys you're doing this. You're doing this for a team you never even played a down for. You never played a snap for. You never even fucking signed a contract with their organization. And guys, listen, I know we have some new viewers here. And I know we're building a new audience on Rumble. And I don't want this to be weird from what I'm saying, but I'm telling you this is probably the best way I can say this. I swear Tony Romo is close to having an orgasm every time he watches Mahomes make an insane play. I'm not even joking. That's how bad it is to watch him call a Chiefs game. It's so bad. I swear he's about to have an orgasm every time Mahomes makes an insane play. And I could point out several things that he says. And, there's one particular where, Denver has the ball in the game. And, he's like, well, because Denver has got to score here because that guy over there, Mahomes, he knows how big that this game is right now. Jim. Hey, Romo, you ever think to on the other side how big of a game this is for Denver? Or are you just going to call fucking pro Chiefs, man, and make CBS the Chiefs network? Which I don't want to accuse CBS of doing, by the way. It's really Romo that's part of this, okay? But I'm just saying, come on, man. Right? I mean, there's times where, he's telling Jim Nantz, he's like, well, we all know when Mahomes gets the ball, Jim, I mean, he's going to make magic happen. I mean, he knows how big of a game this is, Jim. And he gets so excited when he says it. If that don't tell you enough, I don't know what does anymore. But this man is actively, I swear, guys, he has to have a fake suit on when he does the game. And then underneath it, and I don't want to, and again, I'm painting a picture. This is fictional. I swear underneath that suit of his, he has a cheerleading uniform of him and Mahomes' face with a heart over it, with a romper and pom-poms cheering for Mahomes every fucking big play he has. I swear to God, that's what Tony Romo does. It's so annoying. Bro, I was told you call the game neutral, unbiased, and fair. That dude has never been approached by CBS to fucking call out the Chiefs' bias that he is. It's sickening. It's sickening. I had to mute the game at times. And I love Jim Nantz. Jim Nantz is one of my favorite announcers. I'm surprised Jim Nantz hasn't even said a single thing to him about it. I don't remember ever this happening when Tom Brady was in the league. Ever this bad. And Chris Collinsworth, you're in this boat too. Because every time you call a game with Mahomes, oh my God, it's like the fucking... it's like the high school girls with the fucking top quarterback in high school. That's what Chris Collinsworth is. Oh my God. Shut up. That's what it is. You can't even make this shit up anymore. So, and then Tony Romo, after the game ends, you could see he was concerned on the end that Bo Nix was going to upset Mahomes. And then when he did, you could see the change in his voice. He wasn't happy. CBS, you got to call it out what it is. This is visible. Your viewers know this. And there's no way your executives can say with a straight face that Romo is not cheering for the Chiefs. He is. Go look at the tape. It's live. Now, again, I hope they catch this because this is a joke, man. This is like Gary Danielson with the Alabama bias, which, by the way, I can't fucking stand him. Now they got the Big Ten, and I don't even fucking really watch much of his games. I have to mute them. But Romo is... I have to mute his games from now on every time he calls a Chiefs game. All right? So, he got nervous in an interview after the game. He's like, well, there's some real doubt that the Kansas City Chiefs might actually miss the playoffs. Oh, what's wrong with Tony Mahomes? You're not going to have your favorite player in the playoffs play? Oh, my God, the sky is falling. The season's ruined. No, it's not. It's called It Ain't Your Year. Time to do your job the way you're supposed to do it, Tony Mahomes. That's what I'm calling you. Tony Mahomes. You're not a fucking unbiased announcer, Romo. Everybody knows you root for this kid. Call the game fair, or I fucking simply, honestly, I'll mute your games. Hell, I wouldn't even watch. But because I really like Jim Nantz as announcer, I don't want to not watch, but that sucks. But Tony Mahomes, welcome to the Chiefs not making the playoffs every year. Now it's time for you to do your job and be fair. You can throw your chances of the Chiefs going to the playoffs in here, Romo. Say goodbye to the Chiefs' playoff hopes and you not being able to call them during their Super Bowl run for 2025. It's over. It's over. Say goodbye, Romo. Say goodbye. Throw that fucking fake romper and that cheerleading uniform and them pom-poms in here. Along with you bandwagons. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. It's over. It's over. You're done. It's done. So, Chiefs bandwagons, you're 0 for 5 in close games. Taylor Swift's not showing up for the games because why? She's no longer a good luck charm anymore. Andy Reid, he ain't coaching till like Marv Levy age. It ain't happening. Patrick Mahomes is slowly falling out of his prime. He's damn sure not playing past 40. That ain't going to happen. That's an outlier. Okay? It's over. It is done. It is done. Travis Kelce's getting old. Chris Jones is not the player he once was. Spagnuolo might leave for a head coaching job. Matt Nagy was always a shit offensive coordinator. He's a product of Andy Reid. That's all he was. Say goodbye to guaranteed 1 seed. Say goodbye to AFC West. Say goodbye to first round bye. Say goodbye to division titles. You are now going to be sweating it out for the next 7 weeks, rooting for Jacksonville and the Chargers to lose. And your schedule ain't favorable. You got the Chargers and Broncos in Arrowhead. You got the Texans in Arrowhead, which they're a good defense. It ain't going to be easy for you, bro. It ain't going to be easy. But I will enjoy you sweating it out. I will enjoy it. Every second of it. Meanwhile, Drake May, 9-2. Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. This is actually a first real chance that the New England Patriots can actually make the Super Bowl, while the Chiefs are 1 and done in the playoffs, or don't even make it at all. Would you believe that? Yoham's dying to come on the show, man. But I told him, wait for the fall. So, Chiefs bandwagons, you have officially ran out of excuses. I've called you out all by name. This episode will be going to you because you're going to get a ton of shit from me. Okay? And I'm not stopping. It's now my turn to be insufferable. Your season is over. Over. Done. Fuck off my fucking AFC playoff picture. Get out. Done. Say goodbye. Time for some new teams to come in. Your dynasty's dead. Over. Fuck out of here. Done. Let's get to some teams that actually deserve some conversation. And I'm going to say some important college football news when I'm done with this. Let's go to the Lions and the Eagles, which I've got a scorching hot take that people are not going to like this morning. Or rather, this evening, rather. I think Dan Campbell has cost the Lions their Super Bowl window. 5 times you missed it on 4th down. 5 times. I mean, I swear I was watching Brandon Staley, just a different name on a different team. Dan Campbell is now the new Brandon Staley. 5 times they came up short on 4th down, which was the second time. I forgot the exact number of years, but it was a while that many times they missed it on 4th down. And it was also Dan Campbell earlier in his career with the Lions. At some point, when does the national media go off on him about the 4th downs that he doesn't get? Because single-handedly, guys, he cost his team the game last night. The Eagles' offense was nothing really special, if I'm being totally honest. It wasn't. It was a joke. I mean, I just do not think that this team is a Super Bowl contender. I don't think the Lions are Super Bowl contenders. I never thought they were. Their secondary's banged up. Yeah, they got Gibbs, they got St. Brown, they got Jamison Williams, they got Sam Laporta, they got a good offensive line. Their defense, Aiden Hutchinson's a baller. They got good linebackers. Secondary's banged up. But I never viewed them as a Super Bowl contending team. I think they're good. They might win a playoff game. But they're not a Super Bowl contender. They're not. And the fact that now you're sitting at 6-4 through 10 weeks, you got to do some major soul searching. Now, I did say, for those of you that know this show pretty well, I did say the Lions were going to be under 11 and a half wins. I did say that. And right now, looking pretty good. Because I said losing both coordinators is going to be their fall. And Kelvin Shepard's done a good job with defense. I thought he did a good job last night. But Dan Campbell and the offense, they were not good at all last night. Dan Campbell is now the new modern Brandon Saile. And I'm sorry, but we got to call it what it is. He does not have a good feel for the game. He cares more about his style, trying to win the game, than he does actually trying to be smart, knowing that his defense is doing a great job. The Eagles are having trouble scoring. Yet, you pass up 4th down 2 times in Eagles territory and come away with 0. You cost your team 6 points last night. Now, I know people are going to say, well, it was windy in Philadelphia last night. Well, you practiced that, don't you? I guess they're not as good as we thought they were. And this was a golden opportunity, not just for the NFC North to take the lead in, but you could have been in the conversation for the number 1 seed. You blew it. You blew it again. And I think there's only 2 ways that the Lions can win football games. If you beat up on a far less superior team where they just blow the doors off you and it's blowout city because their offense can drop 40, 50 plus, running or throwing, and you have no chance in hell to come back on them. And that's what they do to the below average to average teams at best. The really bad teams too. Or the second way they win is there's one big matchup for them that they go, yep, we can do this, and that's how we win. Ravens secondary is awful. All right, let's throw to St. Brown and Sam Laporta. Oh, their run defense isn't physical. Let's run Jahmyr Gibbs. So if they're more physical than you, they're going to run the ball on you. If they have one matchup on you that you like, they're going to throw it or they're going to run the ball like crazy, and that's how they're going to do it. But when they play a team that's more physical than they are, when they play a team that's so much better than they are, they lose. Or when they're one unit that they need to step up, does not step up. The Lions can only win 2 ways in this league. They can't win ugly. This team, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, they are not a Super Bowl contending team. Dan Campbell has blown their Super Bowl window because of his refusal to get a better feel of the game, and he's taken points off the board, and it's come back to bite him. And he's too busy concerned about winning the game as opposed to just the feel of the game. And I don't know why people don't criticize him more for it. I'm going to be the one that's going to be the one to be like, listen, you cost your team 6 points last night. And I know he's likable. I get it. But you got to call it what it is sometimes. He blew that NFC Championship game because if you remember, the real ball knowers know this. The Lions were up 24-7 on San Francisco at halftime in San Francisco in a championship game 2 years ago almost. And then one missed 4th down conversion flipped that whole game against you. And then when he stopped going for it on 4th down last night, he punted in the 2 biggest drives of the game. Dan Campbell, you're a good coach. You're not a great coach. You don't have a great feel for the game. You're too hell-bent on your style. You're refusing to just understand when points are there, take it. And your offense, you got to know, it just doesn't have it. It's not their night. And nope, stubborn pride gets in the way. Now, the Eagles, their offense, you got to see Saquon get a little bit going. They didn't get a lot of yards, but he got going on a few runs. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, I mean, you can't call that game, that PI to decide the game. You just can't. That's a horrible call. I'll be honest. But I turned the game off with 6 minutes to go because I knew once the Lions punted, that was the game. I knew it. Over. But the Lions are not Super Bowl contenders. The Eagles, they're in that top three. Them and the two teams I'm going to talk about next. The Rams and the Seahawks. This was a game. I watched the last 2 minutes of this. Seattle's road streak ended last night. Think about it. It's really impressive. But let's think about Seattle for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. And the game still came down to a 61-yard field goal attempt. That was way off. And they only lost by 2. There's multiple ways you can look at this. One way you can look at it is the Rams are really good. Their defense is better than what it was last year. That is 100% accurate. They're much better points allowed. They're much better against the run. Granted, I know last night wasn't the best example, but they've been better. And they got 4 interceptions on Sam Darnold. But you can also look at it and go, even through those bad moments, being down 14-3 in the first quarter, and being down majority of the game, we still took the Rams wire to wire and lost on a last-second field goal that did not go through the upright. Think about that for a second. Mike McDonald has done a phenomenal job with Seattle. I mean, he really has. But the next step in Sam Darnold's game that I think he has to learn, sometimes you can be a game manager and not be the reason your team loses a game. I think that's what Sam Darnold needs to learn, because I know he played not great, 4 interceptions. And I know Ernest Jones was backing up his teammate, which I don't have an issue with. But that's the next area of Sam's growth. He's got to learn to not lose the game for his team. You've got a great defense that's playing really well. You've got skill guys around you that you got to just find a way to get them the ball. Let them make plays. Don't be the reason your team loses the game. That's what he's got to learn. And I don't know if Sam will get there, though. I don't know if he will. I think there's, honestly, and Seattle's defense played really well outside of the first quarter. Think about it. They held the Rams to 7 points the rest of that game from the second quarter on. Seattle outscored them 19-7 from the second quarter on. Think about that for a minute. 16-7, actually. That's insane. I look at the Rams and Matt Stafford. That's the best defense he's probably going to face all season. Devontae Adams had 1 catch for 1 yard and a touchdown. Puka Nacua had 7 for 79. Kyron Williams was the guy that Seattle was like, you know what? We're not going to let Matt Stafford beat us. We're going to let somebody else beat us, and that's how we're going to let this game play out. And Mike McDonald, I give him credit. Matt Stafford did not have his best game statistically. 130 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And you held the Rams to 21 points. The difference was the Rams played ball control offense, and they got turnovers on the other end. That's how you win games in December and January. That's how you beat good teams. You get the turnovers on defense, you don't turn the ball over on offense. That's how the Rams do it. But Seattle is still a good team. And I'm here to tell you right now, I told you guys on Thursday, whoever was home this game, I said I was going to lean towards the home team because I think these teams are so evenly matched. I think that game proved exactly what I thought. The thing was, McVay at home with Stafford in LA, I told you guys, there is no doubt in my mind, I am not betting against Sean McVay ever again. I learned it last year. I learned it 2 years ago. I'm not doing it again. And Sean McVay, I'm declaring right now, November 17th, not only is the Chiefs dynasty dead, Sean McVay is the best coach in the NFL right now. Over Andy Reid. Sean McVay knows how to get to January and win football games. He lost to Detroit, a hot team, 2 years ago in the playoffs. Last year, he lost to the Eagles in Philadelphia in a snowstorm. And Jalen Carter made one big play that decided the game. They've been right there. This team should be the Super Bowl favorite. And as of this morning, I looked on DraftKings. Vegas odds say that the Super Bowl favorite is the Rams, who I've been saying since last week. So somebody at Vegas is watching Lounge Time going, this Rich Saile kid's pretty smart. So, I mean, I guess I'm a ball knower. But Chiefs bandwagons are going to be claiming that I'm hating. Well, kick rocks and go fuck yourselves. But the Rams and Seattle, both good teams. But I just didn't bet against Sean McVay, and that's really it. But Sam's got to make that jump in his game. He's got to learn to not be the reason his team loses games. All right. In all seriousness, I just got an update on my laptop. Jamar Chase has been suspended 1 game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. So basically the NFL did exactly what they did with Jalen Carter early in the year with week 1. And Jamar Chase happens to play against my Patriots next Sunday. This was the right decision. I thought they might have given him 2 because of the punch. That might be a fine, though. But this is the right decision, according to Adam Schefter just now came across. Drake London is also not expected to play week 12. And Michael Penix is out for the season for the Falcons. So there goes Atlanta's season. And get this, guys. I had a conversation with a couple friends this morning about the best futures in the NFL after this season. Do you know who has the Falcons' first-round pick? The LA Rams. Imagine they win the Super Bowl and they get the 8th pick. That might be worse. That might be a top 5 pick. Can you imagine what Sean McVay would do with that pick? Oh, that's scary. I mean, everybody made a big deal when the Eagles got Jalen Carter. Sean McVay might have a guy where he's going, ooh, yep, that's what I want. They fleeced Atlanta. Now, this quarterback class isn't supposed to be great. Imagine if Sean McVay finds his guy that he goes, that's my replacement for Matt Stafford. To sit behind a year or 2. This is where we find out if Sean McVay is good with veteran quarterbacks or if he's good as a quarterback developer. And I think he's a good quarterback developer because he did good with Baker that 1 game with the Raiders. And he did really good. So the Rams, the Broncos, and the Patriots, I think, have the brightest futures among playoff teams. Now, people say, well, what about the Eagles and Tampa? Yes, but the Eagles and Tampa could be losing some key veterans in the next 3 to 5 years. The Patriots, the Broncos, and the Rams, I think, all have young teams that I think, honestly, are going to be locked into their teams for the next 3 to 5 years. And that will make them have a longer window. Now, I'm going to briefly go over the couple games. Buffalo and Tampa I want to go over actually next. This is the last big game I'm going over. Sean Tucker, shout out to you. You won me my fantasy matchup this week. Dropping 30-plus fantasy points. Thank you so much, Sean Tucker. You're awesome. Baker Mayfield, let's go to you now. You had the 1 bad pick, the 1 fumble. Other than that, I think he played solid. But after that second quarter, Tampa got outscored 23-12. That's a little concerning. And that ended up being the difference in that game. The Bucs offense stalled. Buffalo's offense turned unstoppable. Even when Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. And those were bad interceptions, by the way. But the man accounted for 6 total touchdowns, which Buffalo can score with the best of them. But that run defense is atrociously bad. And I think if you're Tampa, which we'll get to actually in a little bit, I want to finish them on Buffalo. Tyrell Shavers being the guy this game could be a good and a bad thing. Khalil Shakir's in the doghouse. I don't know what happened to him. He's a shell of himself. Kincaid, I think, is hurt. James Cook is just... I don't know why they don't use him, but the one thing that's always going to plague Buffalo is how much Josh Allen gets wear and tear on his body as far as throwing, and he's being the leading rusher. 6 runs for 40 yards, and I get he scored 3 times, but the amount of hits he's taking, I don't wish this because I'm an NFL fan that wants to see everybody play at their best. I do. And I don't root for injuries. I'm not the type of person. If Josh Allen ever gets that one big hit, that's going to fuck up his style because he's got to learn to be like, listen, we got James Cook. Let's feed him the ball. I don't have to do it all by myself. But the Bills just refuse to let that happen. And I think their team is best built for Kansas City. And then when they play everybody else, they get exposed. So the Bills will be fine. They'll be a wild card team. They could still win the East. That's why I don't rule them out. But that defense is not as good as advertised at all. They're not. They're not. Their secondary looks torchable. Their linebackers are just very thin at depth. And Joey Bosa and their guys on the edge, Rousseau, they have games where they can go pretty solid, and then they have games where you go, all right, they're all right. Like Jordan Phillips, Larry Ogunjobi, AJ Epineza, Daquan Jones, Deion Walker, they're good. But that run defense, I'm telling you, you're going to run into a Baltimore. You're going to run into a team like Denver who can run the ball. New England with that running game now of Henderson, and especially if Stevenson comes back. You're going to have teams that are running now. If you can't stop the run, you're going to be an early exit. And that's another team with Super Bowl aspirations that feels cursed at the moment. But I have legitimate concerns with that run defense. To Tampa now. This is a very dangerous team if they get healthy. Because when I look at their 4 losses, at Detroit, New England, at Buffalo, and Philadelphia, all of those teams, ladies and gentlemen, are 6-4 or better. And Tampa Bay, mind you, does not have Mike Evans yet. We don't know if he's coming back for the rest of the season. Chris Godwin's supposed to be back. He has only played in 1 game this year. If the Bucs run the ball like they were able to in this game, which is a tall task, and Baker Mayfield just plays like he was early in the season, like we were talking 5 weeks ago, are the Bucs getting the 1 seed in the NFC? Well, unfortunately, the injuries caught up with them to where they're not even close to being the 1 seed anymore. But this is a dangerous team in the playoffs because Baker Mayfield, if he can recapture that magic and that elite level of play he's been playing with, I think this is a dangerous team in the playoffs. Mind you, the real ball knowers know Baker Mayfield was not the reason that the Bucs lost last year in the playoffs. And I think Detroit, listen, that was a team that was just hot. And Mayfield did throw the pick at the end, but they were deep in Lions territory anyway. He did not play bad, I think, in the playoffs the last 2 years. So let's say, again, he's going to be fine. But I am concerned with the fact that the injuries for them have made it seem like, you know what? Are they as good as we were predicting? I think they are good. They have to get healthy. They need to be in the playoffs where they can just get everybody healthy. That's where you want to play your best ball, when you have everybody healthy and you got as great a chance as anybody. And I think this team can make some noise if they can get Evans and Godwin back. That defense needs to be corrected because they got no pass rush on Allen. They got 2 takeaways, but their offense stalled second half. If they can fix those up, this is a dangerous team. So Tampa will be fine. Todd Bowles, I expect to fix the defense. But like I said, they have to correct their defense. And they have to make sure Baker doesn't play like that again. Briefly, before I go into college football a little bit. Bryce Young, monster game against the Falcons. That was probably the best quarterback performance against them this season. Carolina, you got to learn how to be consistent. You won against Green Bay and then lost to the Saints. You win against Atlanta. Well, now you got a tough test against the Niners in Frisco. This is where you become that next level of playoff contending team. You're right there with the Bucs for the NFC South. You're going to play them twice. Bryce, this is where we see if you make that jump. Can you be that franchise guy for the Panthers? There's times where he looks good and there's times where he doesn't. This young team, can they ascend to that next level and say, we're not the same old Panthers? Well, you're 6-5. You got a big game on the line Monday night, and you got to go win the games you're supposed to win. But you're also going to have to beat the teams you're going to have to get through to do it. Well, here's your chance. Monday night against the Niners in Frisco. The Bears-Vikings. The Bears are now first place in the NFC North. I'm going to be honest, I'm still not sold on the Bears. I don't think Caleb Williams is that good. Ben Johnson has brought what Dan Campbell did with the Lions now with the Bears. And now J.J. McCarthy, I swear I was watching a repeat of week 1. But this time, Cairo Santos nailed the field goal in between the uprights, and the Bears got a win against Minnesota. And now they're first place in the NFC North, which I do not expect to stand that way. I think the Bears will fall back down to earth. They'll be fighting for a wild card. Awful take, Al. Who said the Bears had a shot at contending in the playoffs this year for a wild card spot? That would be me. That would be me. But we're going to let you try to talk your way out Thanksgiving about your horrible AFC team you picked to go to the Super Bowl. We'll let you talk your way out of that because that's that. But knowing him, he's going to probably be calling me and be like, well, there's 7 weeks left. Anything can happen. No. I wrote the Steelers off last week. They're still written off. I wrote the Chiefs off today. They're off. The Bears, they are going to be fighting for a wild card. I'm not saying they're going to make one, but I am not sold completely. I don't like what I'm seeing all that much. Let's go to Chargers in Jacksonville. I told you guys this is what would happen. The Chargers, we saw early in the year when they played the Commanders without their 2 top tackles, they can't run the ball. And Justin Herbert did not play well this game. They could not play well. Now, Jacksonville regained some of that really good defensive game that they had outside of that little slump that they had in the last couple of weeks. They finally got some confidence to the defense that was playing well early in the year. And Trevor Lawrence, again, if he plays efficient, if he doesn't turn the ball over, the Jaguars, they can run the ball with Tootin and they can run the ball with ETN. This is a very good Jaguars team that I think they have a shot at a wild card spot. I said at the beginning of the year. Also, I picked them as a wild card in my YouTube notes if you guys followed the post that I sent back in early September. But I was told I was crazy by Johan, but I'll let him talk to me about that later. But again, those 2 teams, Chargers are going downhill. Jaguars, I won't say are going uphill, but that's a big win that they needed, especially considering that they are still ahead of the Chiefs in the playoffs. That is a big deal. So, Jacksonville, big win for them. Chargers, the alarm should be going off because the Chargers are bad. And then Texans win on a walk-off field goal, but it's the Titans. But yeah, let's provide some college football news real quick because I have just found out that Virginia Tech is finalizing a deal to hire James Franklin to be their next college football head coach. I like the hire for Virginia Tech. I do. I think that looking at the ACC, Clemson and Dabo are going downhill. And I look at James Franklin. He got a lot of decommits from Penn State after he was fired. I wonder if those same recruits are going to follow him to Virginia Tech. I think that there are certain coaches that fit at smaller schools and that can thrive in their success and that are just not meant for big level jobs. James Franklin's one of those guys. He did a good job at Penn State, but he could never get Penn State to where they wanted to be as a fan base in a Big Ten champ game to win. And he won one of them. But after that, he couldn't get them to the college football playoff. He could not get them to win a national title. And that's where I think that James Franklin would be great for a team like Virginia Tech. To be growing as a team in the ACC that can contend year in and year out. And the ACC is wide open. It's wide open. Nobody's really like the best team year in and year out. The Clemson dynasty with Dabo's downhill. It's done. So I like this move from Virginia Tech. I think this is a great hire for them, and I think they'll be in bowl games. I think Franklin can recruit, and I think he'll hit in the portal a few times. I just wonder how their offense is going to be under him. But I think Virginia Tech is going to be good with James Franklin. I like the move. Bama and Oklahoma briefly. I knew Oklahoma had a really legit defense. What I didn't know was that Ty Simpson would turn back into the guy that was in week one not a very good quarterback at all. And the only way he's good is if he has a clean pocket and he has time, because his strength is anticipation and accuracy. When he has that, the guy's a top 5 quarterback in college football. But when he gets rattled and he kind of has to, step back just a little bit and he senses those rushers closing in, he starts to panic. And that's where I think Ty Simpson is just not as good. My parlay lost because of Bama. So while I enjoy the Bama bandwagons now sweating out Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which I will be rooting for Auburn like crazy because I hate Bama, and I hope that they don't make it. But you fuckers cost my parlay. Now, Oklahoma, again, if you really look at it, Alabama shot themselves in the foot. 3 turnovers. Oklahoma had short fields they took advantage of, and their defense really was ferocious and tenacious. I mean, that's a good, really, really good defense. I think that game alone just got them into the playoff. Now, again, they have to beat Missouri. They have to beat LSU. I get that. But if they run the table, they're in. I mean, they're 8-2. Yeah, they beat Missouri and they beat LSU. They're in. And I think they will. But big win for Oklahoma. You fuckers cost my parlay. That's why I'm mad at you. But in a way, Bama bandwagon sweating. Now there's a real debate. Who's the best 2-loss team, Rich? You'll have to find out Thursday when the rankings come out, because I will give my thoughts on those rankings. That is all I have for today's episode of Lounge Time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell on YouTube, because we are going to have more content in time for late November, December, and January. We will have more guests to talk the playoff picture, to talk Super Bowl contenders. Who has a legit shot? Some other news that we'll be talking about. There will be a lot more to cover. Don't want to miss out. We will also be talking about college hoops soon. I've watched some games. I've got some teams that I'm like, you know what? I'm high on these teams. Plus, you can also follow me on Rumble. We're trying to build a Lounge Time community on Rumble. Hopefully you guys hit subscribe and give me a follow on Rumble. We hope to have you guys and welcome some new members into the Lounge Time family. You can also follow me at Lounge Time Pod on X. You can tweet at me. If you have a question for me to answer on the show, I have no problem answering it. I'm more than happy to do that. But we cannot grow the channel without you guys. So make sure you guys follow. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Help us grow the channel together. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in Lounge Time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys on Thursday to talk Week 12 NFL, Week 13 college football. We are almost in the home stretch, so the meaningful games start. Have a great night, everybody.